Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are back with the weekly tips. Probably going to make this one a bit of a shorter video, got a bit of a croaky voice, so sorry if my voice sounds a bit duller than normal as well. But let's just quickly go over my tips last round. Pretty good round, I got 5 out of 6. I really don't know why I tipped Hawthorn, to be honest. Coming off the bye, Gold Coast, well, they're always going to respond after a poor performance the week before. So, yeah, really, I don't know why I tipped Hawthorn. Could have cost me a perfect round for tipping, which is unfortunate, but well, everything else went as smoothly. Hopefully, that was the last bye round as well, so we're back to the 9 game per round structure from now on, which is good. Yeah, let's just get into the tips for round 16. Alright, starting things off with Thursday night, Brisbane taking on Richmond at the Gabba. I think Brisbane should get the job done here. Richmond into some good form, but coming off the bye. Not too many teams have won this year coming off the bye. In fact, the two teams that have won so far were two teams that played teams also coming off the bye. So, in terms of teams coming off the bye playing teams that didn't come off the bye, no one has won so far, and I can't see Richmond getting the job done against Brisbane at the Gabba. I think they'll get the job done by 26 points. Sydney taking on Geelong now. We had a massive win last round against the West Coast Witches hats. I don't know how much I can actually read into that, because they didn't even try. There was no opposition. Like, we weren't coming up against anything. None of the Eagles players wanted to be out there. They didn't lay a tackle. Like, we actually had more tackles despite having like nearly 150 more disposals, which is just ridiculous. So I don't know how much we can read into that. I'm going to be tipping Geelong. I think they got a very good win over Melbourne last round. That should be a good confidence booster for them, and I reckon they'll get the job done by 25 points. Bulldogs taking on Fremantle now. It's a tough one. Bulldogs won't have Liam Jones in this match. Yeah, that Fremantle don't have the greatest key forwards, although Jai Miss is coming along very nicely this season. So it might not be as big of an out for this game as it will be in other games. Fremantle coming off a good win, obviously. Bulldogs coming off the bye, and for that reason I'm actually going to be tipping Fremantle. They beat the Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium last year, and I reckon they're going to do the same again this season. I'll tip them to win by 19 points. Adelaide taking on North Melbourne now. Fairly straightforward tip. Adelaide, I think, should pretty comfortably get the job done over North Melbourne. I'm going to tip them to win by 48 points. North a little bit more competitive in recent times without winning any games still, but I can't see them getting anywhere close to Adelaide. Gold Coast versus Collingwood now. Last year, this matchup at Metricon Stadium was a pretty good game. I reckon Collingwood, yeah, they should win this one, realistically. I think that it is at Metricon, not at Metricon, it's Heritage. I don't know, I just can't get it out of my head that it's no longer called Metricon Stadium. It's been called that since, well, forever, since when I've started watching the AFL. I need more time to adjust. Heritage Bank Stadium. But anyway, regardless, I'm going to be tipping Collingwood to get the job done here by about 4 goals, 24 points. Essendon taking on Port Adelaide at the MCG. I had it in my head that this was at Marvel Stadium. These matchups are normally at Marvel Stadium between these two teams, but they're going with the MCG this time, which, I mean, I guess is fair enough. Both teams playing good footy. Port Adelaide coming off the bye. You know what, they've got to lose a game sooner or later. I'm going to tip Essendon in this one. I think I originally had Essendon, then I changed it to Port, and now I'm changing it back to Essendon. But yeah, I reckon Port Adelaide, they've got to lose the game eventually. They're coming off the bye. Obviously, the post-bye record this year is not good for any team. And I don't think it'll do Port Adelaide any favours here either. Essendon get it done at home at the MCG by 11 points. Hawthorn taking on Carlton now. And you know what? I'm tipping Hawthorn in an upset here. Carlton coming off the bye. They had that one good win against Gold Coast. Otherwise, before that, their previous 5 weeks were woeful. Hawthorn will respond. I think they're starting to show some signs of maturity, this team, despite being the youngest team in the comp. And I think that they'll respond after a poor loss like that. And yeah, I mean, if Carlton don't win this game, then I'm sure there'll be a lot of pressure back on them. So it's going to be a must-win game for Carlton, but honestly, I see Hawthorn getting the upset win here. Hawthorn by 14 points. Melbourne taking on GWS. This is GWS's first time ever playing in Alice Springs. So, yeah, that'll be... Obviously, there was a game played at Alice Springs last year between Melbourne and Port Adelaide. That was Cozzy Pickett kicked 6 that game, 6 of the best goals you'll ever see. It was a really good game actually. Melbourne got the job done, and I say that they're probably going to get the job done in this one. I'll tip them by 21 points over the Giants, who are showing signs that they're on the up, they're improving, but I think Melbourne are definitely the better team. Final game of the round. I mean, like, is there anything to talk about here? St Kilda are going to win this one easy. And with that, well, that will wrap up round 16. Skimmed through it a bit today, sorry about that. Still on top, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Brisbane, Melbourne in the top 4 as well. Adelaide back in the top 8. Well, I think they were in the top 8 to start off the round, but we got Geelong back in the top 8 as well. Bulldogs slip out. Fremantle climb up the ladder a little bit, but still just outside that top 8. Gold Coast, they slip down a little bit. They're on, Richmond and Sydney still in the hunt for the top 8, but I don't think that either of those teams are going to make it, to be honest. GWS, they're only half a win ahead of Carlton, but I think they're a fair bit better than Carlton right now. And then the bottom 3 remains as it always has. Although Hawthorn fast catching up on Carlton, and potentially if they win a couple more games soon, then they might overtake them and go up to 15th. North Melbourne on 17th and West Coast in 18th. That's not going to change all season, those last 2 positions. Yeah, if you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Leave your tips down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.